Thank you again for joining us this evening. I hope you all are having fun. At this time, I would like to introduce the president of A Gift for Teaching, Jane Townsend.
Well, I guess I don't have to tell you who I am, but I thank you so much for coming to our 25th birthday party. Our whole staff and board are just so thrilled that you've all come here tonight to help us celebrate this amazing milestone on this beautiful evening. And I really just want to begin first by thanking the sponsors who helped make this amazing reunion of A Gift for Teaching family members and friends possible. So first of all, I'd like to thank the K. Hardesty Logan Foundation. Woo! Duke Energy. Wells Fargo. And Valencia College. It's really thanks to all of their support that we've been able to throw this amazing party for all of us tonight. So it only seemed fitting that we should flock back to our original first home here on Corrine Drive. I was supposed to say first nest because this is Audubon Park. And they really love their bird things, right, Gabby? But we're here at Red Light, which is right next door to where A Gift for Teaching first opened in 1998, right here. And it is now Orlando Outfitters today. But I really want to give a huge thank you to the Audubon Park Garden District board members, first and foremost. When we came to them with this idea, they just said, we're in. We want to co-present this party tonight. And of course to Red Light, who even brewed a pencil boy Pilsner for all of us tonight. I hope you've had a chance to try it. And of course, kudos to Chef Jess and her amazing team who have made all of tonight's delectable goodies. So a little more than a year ago, our board and staff came together to talk about how did we want to celebrate our 25th anniversary. We like to call them birthdays. And we asked ourselves, so why and how do we want to celebrate this birthday? What do we want people to feel? And overwhelmingly, it was to bring our most cherished family of staff, board, volunteers, community partners together for a reunion, and of course, teachers.
Yay!
We wanted to bring those who were there in the beginning, in the middle, who are with us today, and who will be with us for the long haul. And we want you all to feel our appreciation and pride in A Gift for Teaching's accomplishments, and to celebrate the power of community and the incredible difference your support has made in the lives of so many teachers and students. I knew this would be such a great gathering. I'm so blown away by looking out at this group of people. I think our photographer, Stephen Miller, who's here doing this, he paid a wonderful compliment he shared with Angela earlier. He said that he shoots a lot of events all the time, but he can feel the love and joy in this crowd. I thank you so much. But, you know, I look out and I see our very visionary founder, Gary Lambert. I see so many of our alumni staff and board members, some of you who traveled to be here with us tonight. How awesome is that? Come on, everyone. To our instrumental community partners from Orange County Public Schools. Deputy Superintendent Dr. Mike Armbruster. Mike, are you still here? He was here earlier. OCPS has been so incredible in working together with us to make sure that their students and teachers have everything they need. And I really have to say hello to the Education Foundation of Osceola County. I think all of them are here tonight. They partnered with us 20 years ago to launch a gift for teaching in Osceola, and we have not looked back. Thank you for being here. So, did I just turn this off? Oh, no. Okay. Next, I want to say to our funding founders, there's so many of you, as I look around, who represent partners that have been there with us since the beginning. And then there's so many of you who have since joined us. And you've been investing in our programs, providing donated school supplies, incentivizing your employees to volunteer with us on a regular basis. And to each of you who individually have chosen to make a gift for teaching part of your personal giving. It's really all of you that have been able to support our community's teachers and students who need it most. In fact, speaking of teachers, there are several very special teachers here tonight, and I would like them to either stand up or raise their hands, please. Rebecca, I'm looking at you. You know what's so special about some of these teachers? They have been shopping for their classrooms since we opened our doors in 1998 right next door. Isn't that amazing? Woo! Yeah. So tonight we are celebrating a very big milestone, but we're also looking back with immense gratitude at the impact that we've all been able to make together. We're on the cusp of having distributed $175 million worth of school supplies and essentials to teachers who have shopped more than 390,000 times, because what started here as a dream of how this community would and could support a gift for teaching has evolved into so much more. You know, Gary's concept was beautifully simple. To improve public education by distributing free resources and materials provided by community partners and individuals like each of you, because we all want to support education by providing teachers and students with what they need. And our homegrown grassroots nonprofit opened its doors in 1998 to 30 Orange County Title I schools in one tiny little storefront. And we have not stopped innovating for the past 25 years to continually find new ways to better serve our teachers and the growing number of local students who are going to need our support. Today, A Gift for Teaching has 2 teacher-free stores. Pencil Boy Express, the mobile free store, travels weekly to meet teachers on their campus. We have an online curbside pickup service. And we've even gone more high-tech and paperless with the introduction of our wildly popular My AGFT Plus app. It allows teachers to book appointments, place an order online, and easily scan products while they're shopping. Pretty cool, right? Our largest and oldest program, A Gift for Music, will celebrate its 25th birthday next year. It has become the most comprehensive tuition-free string education program in Florida, and has recently hit a very big milestone of its own, of serving more than 10,000 students. So stay tuned for more about how we plan to celebrate this incredible achievement. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for coming together on this very, very special night to celebrate our past and energize for our future. It is my very great honor now to introduce the man who has changed the landscape of our community through his vision for A Gift for Teaching. Please help me welcome my friend, mentor, and our founder, Gary Drive.
my gosh. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Landworth, and if you would have told me 25 years ago that I would be standing in front of this many people that were this supportive of an organization that has grown to be as creative and innovative, and the things that Jane listed just now, I would have said, I don't think so. It's not possible. Everything that I've seen happen with the Gift for Teaching since I've left has just blown me away, and I keep thinking to myself, you know, maybe if I left a few years earlier, you guys could have done a lot more of the stuff that I was in the way of. But I'm glad I didn't, because being here at a Gift for Teaching was probably the most special time in my life. It was the most exciting time. It was the hardest time, probably. It was frustrating, but it was fabulous. And it was fabulous because of all of you. I see so many people that were with us 25 years ago in the crowd today that are still here. And that tells me that a Gift for Teaching must have been doing something right back then and today. You must still be doing something right, and I can see that. Every time I read a Gift for Teaching newsletter or I talk to Jane, I went to visit the store a few months ago and I saw the app, which I didn't understand at all. But the teacher that was showing it to me was so excited about this technology. And seeing the staff that's there now doing this great work was fabulous. For the past 15 years, I've been in North Carolina, and I've been doing consulting with nonprofits. And I do fundraising consulting and board consulting, but the thing I do most of is succession planning and executive transitions. And I will tell you, and I am not making this up, the most successful executive director transition placement I have ever seen is this woman right here. I am so thankful from the bottom of my heart that you applied for the job. We knew she was going to get the job. And she has done spectacularly through it. So Jane, thank you. I'm like, you asked me to talk, so I'm gonna be like the old geezer that comes to a party and says, what was it like back then? So you're gonna have to hear a few minutes of what it was like back then. How did we start a Gift for Teaching? Some of you might know that my dad was a Holocaust survivor, and he lost his parents in the Holocaust. He also lost something that he told us about constantly. He said he lost his chance for an education. He only got through the 6th grade before he was taken to the camps. And for the entire growing up, he said, what you need is a good education. You have to have a good education. If you don't have a good education, you don't have anything. If you have a good education, you have everything. And all three of my brother and sister and I, we knew that. And he gave us every opportunity. He said, I'll give you the best schools. He didn't have a lot of money back then, but he worked really hard to do it. I'll give you all the opportunities, piano lessons, Little League. We had all of that. And I got to see that a lot of people didn't have that. So one day, Teresa, my wife, and I were at dinner with him, and he said, I just met this amazing woman, and she started this thing in Cincinnati, and it's this thing, I think it's a free store for teachers. He wasn't good on details, but he said somehow they get stuff from the community, and they give it to teachers that need it. 2 weeks later, I went to visit Shannon Carter in Cincinnati. I came back with a mentor, a lifelong friend, but most importantly in the short term, a binder full of templates. And I started going around to many people that are here, and I said, what do you think about this idea? Do you think it's possible that we could get stuff? Do you think it's possible that we could actually start a store? Do you think it's possible that we could raise enough money to do it? And I got yeses. I got yeses from Orange County Public Schools. I got yeses from the theme parks. I got yeses from the banks. I got yeses from individuals that were willing to step up and be board members eventually. Most of the yeses were for, yeah, we'll give you your stuff. We're not sure about the money yet. But we started it. We started under Orange County Public Schools. We eventually started our own 501c3. And we opened the doors right over there with some amazing staff, which I'll talk about in a minute. And the first thing I realized was it's a really easy concept to describe, but boy, it was hard to make happen. And we were getting tons of stuff in. We weren't getting all that much money in. And I'll never forget this. It was a pivotal moment in my life. We had a board, and the board was working hard, but they were going, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be fine. So our treasurer at the time, Amanda Herodis, who's here right now, said, Gary, we've given them the financials, but they're just not quite seeing it. So she said, I've got an idea. I'm going to do a very short financial report. And the financial report was this. She said, this is a sign. It had $20,000 on it written. She said, this is, in big letters, big numbers, it said, this is how much it costs to run a gift for teaching every month. We were tiny back then, but the seed money was running out. And she said, that's part one of my financial report. Here's part two of my financial report. She turned it over, and it was another dollar amount, and it said $20,000. And she said, this is the important part. This is how much we have left in the bank. And it was true. We were that close. But somehow, after that day, the board kicked in. The community kicked in. We started getting money. We were able to give away $300,000, I think, the first year. We were able to start a gift for music the second or third year. We were able to go to Osceola County the third or fourth year. And then we just started doing this. And so for me, it's been like this gratifying thing. And I was thinking on the way down, what made it so special? What made this organization as great as it is? And I came up with 5 things. And the 5 things were, 1, this amazing staff that we hired at the very beginning. The staff was so young. We hired people that were early 20s, I think, pretty much. And they had never done any of the jobs we hired them to do. But they had this amazing heart, they had this amazing passion, and they never said no. They probably should have said no, because I can't believe that they are some of my dearest friends now, because I made them wear crayon costumes. I made them hand decorate holiday cards, 250 holiday cards. I made them go to prisons and work with inmates to make stuff for us. Let me see what else I made them do. Oh, I made them trap rats over there and carry them over there. But they stuck with us, and they did an amazing job. So that was number 1. And it's Kylene and Jessa and Amanda and Dawn and Susan, who was the first employee here. And make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. Loretto, Kylene, and Audrey. They were my go-to team. They were fabulous. And they are still my dearest friends today. So that really says something. It means they must not have paid attention to how nasty a boss I was. I don't know. So that's number 1. Number 2 was the board. And I've done a lot of board training. I've probably done, I've worked with probably over 100 boards in the past 15 years. And the one thing I can tell you, honestly, is that the Gift for Teaching board is the best board I have ever worked with. It was that way at the beginning, and I think it is that way now. And it's that way for a couple of reasons. They're not just there to get their name on the stationery. They're there to be our partners. when we hired all these young people to work with us, they were there as the experts, the people that knew what they were doing to train all of the young people. They trained our staff in what's the difference between marketing and PR. How do you handle cash? How do you make financial statements? How do you operate a warehouse? How do you operate a store? We knew how to, I'm included in them, don't know how to do any of this stuff. We didn't know how to do any of that stuff. But the board was there, and they were there as our partners. They weren't there as some group of people to be managed. They were there as people that we needed to rely on, that were just working with us hand in hand. And I see most of you here today, and that's just fascinating. The third thing that I think is really, really special to me is the volunteers. We couldn't have done it with the volunteers. We have Mary Arsenault here, who was the very first volunteer. She was there on the first day of shopping. Her picture is on the wall. And I don't know what it said. It was like 35 shoppers or something. But that was such a monumental day for us. And Mary and the other volunteers were there that made it happen. Number 4 was the community supporters. We started asking people for stuff. The stuff was kind of easy, but then the stuff got better and better and better. The theme parks, they were giving us things that we never imagined we could get as an organization. But we needed the money, and we started getting the money. It started coming in. And the thing that I think is common with the board members and the community partners is they weren't just ATMs. They weren't just giving us money and then we'd come back next year and get more. They became our collaborators. They became our thought partners. They became our friends. And that's why so many of them are here today. And so thank you, all of our community partner friends, for that. And the last thing I think that's so important is it was so easy to see the outcomes of what we were doing. We went from a few $100,000 to $1 million to a couple $1 million. It's how many now? 177? $175 million. That's it was unimaginable to us 25 years ago. I mean, unimaginable. Also, with the Gift for Music program, we went from 50 students in 2 schools to 1,000 students in the course of a couple years, thanks to huge donations from our corporate sponsors for that. So it was easy to see the results. Gift for Teaching has become, I think, a mission-critical organization in this community. I don't think if a Gift for Teaching closed their doors right now, the community would be able to exist like a food bank or a homeless shelter. It's that critical. The other part, I think, that makes this organization so special to me, probably the most important part, is the stories that I heard and I saw. And I think that will never leave me. When we were doing the prison program, we were having the women inmates in Ocala make stuff for us, flashcards and backpacks and things. And we went up to do a video one day, and so we had the video crew there. We had about 30 women in the room. They were sewing and cutting and stuff. And there was one woman in the corner, and I saw her, and she wouldn't get on camera. She was always moving away from the camera. So at the end of the day, we were packing up, and I had this tug on my shoulder, and I turned around, and it was her, and she was this little short woman, and very thin, and very quiet, and soft-spoken, and she said, "Excuse me, are you in Orange Center Elementary?" And I said, "Oh yeah, that was one of the 30 schools. That was one of the first schools that we worked with." And she said, "Thank you, I'm so thankful." She said, "My 2 kids go to Orange Center Elementary, and at least I know that the stuff that I'm making for them are going to go to them, and hopefully they'll have a good education, get them somewhere that I wasn't able to get to." That story has never left me. And it reminded me of what my father said early on. He said, education is the most important thing you can ever have, and we need to do everything to make it happen. And that woman reminded me that what a Gift for Teaching does is exactly what he was talking about. It's giving opportunities, it's giving stuff, it's giving teachers what they need to make kids smarter, had a foundation for learning, and having a foundation to be successful. So that's what made it great, those 5 things. So I feel a little bad though, as you know, the founder thing. I'm not that comfortable with this founder thing because everybody here is a founder. I also have to say the special kind of founder is my wife, Teresa, who has been with me every step of the way. I don't know where she is. She's here somewhere. She was there at the beginning. She was painting walls over there. She was helping us with finances. She was helping us with everything. And she's been that way my entire career. So I'm not going to be the founder. Everybody's the founder. And I will just want to bring Jane up. And I want to have a toast with Jane. So, why don't we say that we hope that we don't need a gift for teaching 25 years from now. But if we do, what can we, when you wheel me in here 25 years from now, what are we going to have been talking about? I don't know.
What did we say? Oh, maybe drone deliveries to every classroom.
Maybe a symphony hall for the gift for music students.
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Maybe that all.
Did I turn that off? There we go.
Okay, the last one is maybe that all of you are still with us if we have to be here. So cheers to Pencil Boy's 25th birthday. Thank you all for everything.
Thank you so much, Gary. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.